Welcome everyone. Today we are going to start with conductors and conductance, which is coming under your part 3 electrochemistry. Now, what is conductor? How it is different from the resistor? We are going to learn in this chapter. Conductors. Conductors are the substance which allow the electricity to pass through it. As you can see on your right hand side of your screen that a circuit is been designed which passes through, if it is passing through a conductor the bulb glows, and if it is passing through a insulator then the bulb do not glow. Here your steel, copper acting as a good conductor of electricity, whereas glass, wood, they are acting as an insulator which does not allow the electricity to pass through it. Therefore, we can say the substances which allow the passage of electricity through them are known as conductors. Then resistance. What is actually a resistance means? Resist, right? The word itself suggesting a meaning. Every conducting material offers some obstruction to the flow of electricity, which is called resistance. For example, when a water is flowing through a pipe and we just stop the pipe, we just hold the pipe from between tightly, right, to just have fun. At that moment the water, you can see here in the given diagram how the path of the water changes. Okay, so that is called the obstruction. So resistance is your obstruction to the flow of electricity. It is denoted by capital R and it is measured in ohm. It is basically required so that the extra flow of current, to avoid the extra flow of current and prevent and preserve the electricity. So here you can see how the voltage is there, right? Your electric current passing through it is measured in the unit called voltage. We measure voltage of current, right? Current is measured in voltage. So now this negative is the electrons. When this is flowing at a time, all of these flowing at a time, so a force opposite to it, an obstruction is been applied to it so that the required amount of current only flows, no extra current to be flowed, and it is preserved. So resistance is very much important wherever the flow of current is taking place. Resistance is directly proportional to the length, whereas inversely proportional to the area. That means in a conducting wire, it depends upon the length. And inversely, if more area is there, then less resistance is being applied. Here you can see, right, the area is less. Hence, it at a time, the more resistance is, more obstruction is being applied. But if area is more, then at a time, more obstructions cannot be given. So it is inversely proportional to the area. Now to make the proportionality sign equal, we are multiplying this with the resistivity constant, which is also known as specific resistance. So R is equals to rho into L by A, where rho is equals to specific resistance or resistivity. Now the SI unit of specific resistance, what will be the specific resistance unit? Right, so rho is equals to R. This A will go over this side and L will come downside. So it will become capital R into capital A upon length. R is measured in ohm. A is measured in meter, right? Square meter. A means area. So A is measured in meter square upon meter. Next comes the conductance. The inverse of resistance is known as conductance. That is, conductance G is equals to 1 upon R. Hence, its unit will be ohm inverse or mho. It is all this Mo is also termed as Simon's, as it has been given by scientist Simon. So it is denoted by capital S. So G is equals to 1 upon R. Now what is R? R is equals to rho L by A. So rho L by A upon A will go upside. So it becomes A upon rho L. Now 1 by rho. 1 by rho we have a new constant which is known as kappa. So the constant of conductance is kappa, which is also known as specific conductance or conductivity. So what is kappa? Kappa is nothing but the inverse of resistivity. As conductance is inverse of resistance, conductivity is inverse of resistivity. Now there are different types of conductance, that is if it is passed through, right? If the electrical conductance is passed through the metals, it is known as metallic conductance or electronic conductance. Electronic conductance is why? Due to the movement of the electrons. As I told you, the conductors. Conductors means the substance, the materials that allow the electricity to flow through it. And what is the flow of electricity? It is due to the flow of electrons. Okay, so electrical conductance through metals is called metallic or electronic conductance, and it is due to the movement of electrons. The electronic conductance depends on the nature and structure of the metal, obviously, right? If the metal is more reactive, then the conductance will be, the flow of electricity will be easy enough. So they will be highly conductance. Then the number of valence electrons per atom. Temperature. It decreases with increase of temperature. Now what is electrolytic or ionic conductance? Now ionic conductance means the one which can dissociate into its ions very easily, and the solutions that are formed or the electrolytes that are formed with the ionic bond. Okay, electrolytes, all electrolytes are ionic in nature because they need to dissociate into its ions completely. The conductance of electricity by ions present in the solutions is called electrolytic or ionic conductance. The conductivity of the electrolytic or ionic conductance depends on, yes, of course, the nature of the electrolyte added, whether the electrolyte is strong electrolyte or weak electrolyte. Now, what is strong electrolyte? The electrolyte that dissociate into its ions completely. For example, NaCl, KCl, these all are the strong electrolytes, okay? Whereas weak electrolyte, you can take an example of acetic acid. Weak acid, weak bases, they can act as an weak electrolytes. Whereas strong acids, strong bases, or the neutral salt, that is the salt that is formed by the strong acid and strong base, they all are the strong electrolytes. So it's quite obvious that the conductivity of ionic solutions or electrolytic solutions depends upon the nature of the electrolyte added. Even the size of the ions produced and their solvation. Solvation means getting mixed with the water molecules. The nature of the solvent and its viscosity. What is viscosity? Viscosity means its flow, whether it is dense. This viscosity we have already learned, right? If the solution is thick, for example, honey is a viscous liquid. Okay, so if the solution is easily, if its fluidity is good enough, then they are good electrolytic solutions or conductance. And last, the concentration of the electrolyte. Temperature here, it increases with the increase of temperature because the ionic compounds have high melting and boiling points. This we have already learned in our lower grades in the properties of ionic compounds. Hence, we can say the conductivity of electrolytic or ionic solutions depends upon the nature of the electrolyte added, size of the ions produced and their solvation, the nature of the solvent and its viscosity, concentration of the electrolyte, and temperature. Now the question comes how we need to measure or how we will be able to measure the conductivity of the ionic solutions. So the problem is resolved by designing a conductivity cells. The measure for measuring the resistance of an ionic solutions, two problem was arised. They are, that is, the passing direct current changes the composition of the solution, because right, direct current is your DC current which have the high voltage. As it is a direct current, so there was a chances of the accident. So that was resolved by designing these conductivity cells, because when current is measured with the help of this conductivity cells, at that moment AC current is applied, that is alternating current is applied. Next was, that is, a solution cannot be connected to the bridge like a metallic wire or a solid conductor, because again metallic wire, they are the good conductors of electricity. Okay, so there may be a chances of different types of chemical reaction taking place, or wastage of electrical energy, and even a solid conductor, right? We have already learned that solid is unable to pass the electricity through it, because we require an ions to pass the electricity through it. So to resolve this problem, a specific conductivity cells was designed, which was made by a glass. You can see here the least reactive metal plates are utilized as the electrode, which has been connected with the conducting wire, because the function of electrode is just to provide the surface on which the chemical reaction should take place. It should not become reactive and involve in the reaction, but its main function is to provide a surface where the chemical reaction can take place. So what is conductivity cells? The problem of measuring the resistance of an ionic solutions can be resolved by using a source of alternating current, and the second problem is resolved by using a specially designed vessel called conductivity cell. Molar conductivity of a solutions. Now what is molar conductivity? That is conductivity of a solution in terms of molar, right? Molarity, that we have already learned. What is 1 molar solution, or what is molarity? When molecular weight, right, 1 gram molecular weight is dissolved in 1 liter of solution. I mean when the gram weight, suppose if we want to make the 1 molar NaOH solution, so what is the molecular weight of NaOH? It is 40 grams, right? 23 plus 16 plus 1. So it is 40 grams. So 40 gram dissolved in 1 liter of water, it gives 1 molar sodium hydroxide solutions. So now here what we are doing, we are measuring the molar conductivity of a solution. Hence it is defined as the conducting power of all the ion produced by dissolving 1 mole of an electrolyte in the solution. Molar conductivity is represented as inverse Vm, which is also known as lambda m, and K into 1000 upon capital M. Capital M is molarity. Okay, we know what is K. K is kappa, that is conductivity. It defines conductivity. What is conductivity? We calculate conductivity in terms of resistivity, right? And this is the proportionality constant of conductance. Next, equivalent conductivity. Now, equivalent is related with the normality. If you can recall that what is equivalent weight? Equivalent weight is equals to molecular weight upon acidity or basicity. So here, equivalent conductivity is defined as the conductivity of all the ions produced by dissolving 1 gram equivalent of an electrolyte in the solution. Hence, equivalent conductivity, it is subscript, I mean it has the subscript for small e, and here it will be N, means normality. Next come limiting molar conductivity. Limiting molar conductivity means when the concentration, now what is concentration? These molarity, normality, these all are the units to measure the concentration of the solution. As I told you that 1 molar concentration of solution means the molecular weight of that particular solution, of that particular solute, right, dissolved in 1 liter of solvent. Right. So sodium hydroxide dissolved in water as in solvent. So that is its 1 molarity that defines the concentration of sodium hydroxide solution. Similarly, if we want to measure the normality, we are going to use the equivalent weight. Now here is the limiting molar conductivity when the concentration approaches to zero at infinite dilution. Whose concentration? Concentration of the electrolyte that we are using, we are talking about. Okay. When the concentration approaches zero, that is at infinite dilution. Infinite dilution मतलब आपने 1 मोलर सॉल्यूशन बनाया या 1 नॉर्मल सॉल्यूशन बनाया, फिर उसको आप डाइल्यूट करते गए, right? So at a moment the concentration will become zero. So when the concentration approaches zero, that is at infinite dilution, the molar conductivity is known as limiting molar conductivity or limiting molar concentration. It is denoted as inverse V0M. I suppose it is clear to you that when the concentration will approach is zero, because we have already studied, right, in the particle nature of matter, that is on dilution. The particle nature of matter is so small that even on infinite dilutions, it has the certain property. So this is very important table which is going to useful for answering your multiple choice questions and solve the 1 mark numericals. So conductance G is 1 by R. Okay. You can even note down this thing, and because your property is given, formula, unit and its effect on dilution. If it is diluted, then what will happen? Next is variation of molar conductivity with concentrations. Right, a graph is being shown. What will happen if a strong electrolyte is used? What will happen if a weak electrolyte is used? And what is the basic difference between the strong electrolyte and weak electrolyte? Strong electrolyte which dissociate into its ion completely, whereas weak electrolyte do not dissociate into its ion in the aqueous solution. So you can see the molar conductivity versus concentration. The graph is given. Now this is a straight line. So straight line graph can be easily compared with the straight line equation, that is y is equals to mx plus c. Okay. So this is a type of y equals to mx plus c graph. Okay. Slowly with the dilution and can be represented by the equation. So here we stop, because now we have already covered what are conductors, what is conductance and the different types of conductance. Please refer the video and note down the formulas given into it, right? Prepare a table as it has been shown over here, and please try to remember the formulas. These formulas are very, very useful for you to answer your MCQs and to solve 1 mark numericals. Stay safe, stay healthy. Have a good day.